Hey, good day, good afternoon, and wherever you are in the world. My name is Marcel Hyde, channel Marcel Mindset.
One, two, three, four.
I want to remind you guys, please hit that subscribe button below, hit that notification bell, because these are episodes that you don't want to miss out on. For those of you out there, if you're lacking in faith, you're lacking in hope, God is there for you. God is willing to guide you and lead you and direct you. Hello, world, and welcome to another episode of Marcel Mindset TV. Remember, subscribe to the channel. Click that like button below. Let's get this spread. Let's get this worldwide. Let's share this value that we have here. We want to help people. We want to see each and every individual grow as a person and reach and obtain your goals because it is possible. Today on the show, I am very, very thankful. We got a professional athlete. Professional athlete. The guy put in so much work throughout the years. He worked on himself. He worked on his game. He stayed committed. He was dedicated. And because of that, he's at the highest level of basketball. So I'd like to introduce to the show, episode 9, Koby McEwen.
All right, thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate that. You know, we know that you're extremely busy. You have a very, very extensive season going on right now, in between seasons. So we thank you here on Marcel Mindset TV for coming on. So
Thanks
for our audience out there, you know, I know a little bit about you, but who is Koby McEwen?
Koby McEwen is a guy from Toronto, Parkdale specifically. Is a guy that grew up, loving the game of basketball. Did whatever he could to achieve his goals. Someone who is very competitive. Someone who hates losing more than he likes winning. And then there's someone who just goes after their dreams, man. Someone who just does anything they can to make sure that their dreams become true. So, that's just who I am in a nutshell. And I think it's just a testament to where I'm at today.
Yeah, 100%. So Koby, he hates losing. He's a winner. Winners hate losing, so they're willing to do whatever it takes to win. And Koby showed you that you could go after your dreams. It's possible. He's living it right now and he's doing it. So, on this channel, basically, we want to provide people with value. You know what I mean? We want to show people that things are possible, their dreams are possible. So, how important is working on yourself in your game?
It's extremely important. I mean, working on yourself personally, you got to develop certain traits in order for you to for it to translate on the court or any field that you're trying to pursue. So a lot of it is discipline. A lot of it is just discipline is actually is really everything because it sets the precedent for hard work. It allows you to be on schedule, allows you to be on routine, allows you to do things when you don't want to do it because you just have to. So I think that just working on that certain trait kind of just trickles down to a lot of areas in your life that will help you be better in the field that you choose or that you desire.
Right.
So I mean, and working on your game is extremely important. Obviously, the discipline will allow you to do that. It's choosing it's going to the gym when you don't want to go. Um, it's doing the right things when you get to the gym. It's putting the right things in your body to allow you to perform, or to perform while you're at the gym, or while you're working on your game, or when you have games, practices, long days. Um, it's having the right people in your life that will allow you to grow, and then that trickles into your game as well. So I know there's a lot of factors that go into it, but I think just discipline and just putting in the work are just two of the most important things um, that you can do for yourself in order for you to get where you want to be.
100%. I like that. So you got to stay disciplined out here, guys. If you really want to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish out here, because it's an extremely competitive world, whatever you're in. If you're a professional athlete, you're competing for that next job, whatever arena you're in, it's extremely difficult. So you have to stay disciplined. The best are disciplined. So I know, like you said earlier, you grew up in Toronto. So how has growing up in Toronto, Parkdale specifically, shout out to Parkdale, Toronto, shaped who you are as a person today?
I think a lot of my competitive nature just comes from there. There's a lot of good hoopers that came out of Toronto, downtown specifically. And for me, I think the edge that I got that from just growing up in that area, in that environment. Without that edge, you ain't gonna go nowhere.
Right,
Um, there's cats trying to feed their family, just like how I'm trying to feed mine, or there's cats just going after a goal, where there's not a lot of opportunity for everybody.
right.
Um, Something that has to separate you in order for you to get that chance, that opportunity. So there's a lot of dogs down there, and you got to be an alpha among alphas, and it's if you don't develop that certain mindset, that mentality, you're gonna get they're gonna eat you up and spit you out. So
Yeah.
uh, you got to. It's tough, man. Honestly, it made me who I am. Honestly,
Yeah.
a lot of days when I was younger, playing with the older guys, going home, just reconsidering if this thing is for me. But um, I kept going at it. I kept at it, and eventually, that mentality started to grow. The hunger started to grow, and um, eventually, I just became one of the top dogs. So
Yeah, and that's good, and it shows today. And if you guys haven't had a chance, go check out this guy's highlight tape. I was watching it this morning, and he's got everything. He's got the full package. He's ready, and I really hope this guy gets a shot at the highest level, which is the NBA. I really hope they see him. And sometimes it's out of your control, like you told me earlier, but I really do hope you get there because, like you said, the mentality. You have that mentality. You have that competitive edge and you have that hunger, so it is all possible one day at a time. So we hope that Kobe gets there. So a lot of Canadians, they high school basketball players, they contemplate moving down to the States for more exposure. So do you think high school basketball players from Canada need to high school here for more exposure?
um, man, I mean that's a good question, but I've seen players. If we're talking about the NBA, if
Yes.
we're talking about wanting to go to the NBA, I would say yes.
Mhm.
Um, because a lot of the players, a lot of the coaches um, that are down there are you're literally 1, 2, 3 steps away from that goal. There's going to be players that you're playing against that are like highly recruited that you need to play against in order to prove that you can play at that level. There's going to be certain coaches, and then if you are good enough, there's going to be certain coaches that recruit you that know that have connections with the NBA, that will get you more recognition, more notice, because word of mouth and film is the biggest thing in the basketball world, and then just going out and performing, obviously. But I think with the exposure they have down there, and the competition and the media coverage and just the overall support of basketball in general, I would say if you want to reach the NBA, try to find your way down there. But not, basketball in Canada is also rising, but I don't think it's the same as it is down there. I think in the States they invest a lot of money and resources into the sport more so than they do in Canada. So I would say definitely if you can, try to get down there, try to get to a good program where you can develop and play against the highest competition and be seen by these coaches. So
that's good. And we want to remember, because we want to help, the Canadian basketball players here. So we want to remember, when you are going through that process, make sure you guys are doing your research too, to ensure that the school that you're attending allows you to go to a Division I, Division II, or Division III school, like the courses align, right? We want to ensure that you're not just going to a school where the courses don't count, right? So make sure you guys are doing your research. Make sure you guys are going to good programs that are getting the exposure, all right? Because we want to see more Canadians in the NBA, because we got the talent. We got the skill here in the city, all right?
definitely.
So I want to say, hats off to you, because a lot of players from high school or even from college from high school don't make a college or a university team. It's a very, very small percentage. I believe it could be less than 1% of people that actually play at the next level. And you had the opportunity to play Division I. So clearly you got some game, man. So how hard is it to play Division I basketball, and how can a player work to get to that level?
It's difficult, but I think it's very achievable for anyone who desires to do it. I think the hardest part about Division I is not even the basketball, but just everything else that comes with it. Like you have to go to school, you got like tutoring, you got balance social life, then you got weights, and you got film. Like it's like everything outside of basketball that drains all your energy before you get on the court. Is the I think is the most challenging part about it. And I think the way that you can kind of develop or get used to a certain type of lifestyle is, like, I went to prep school in Utah, and it was kind of like the same thing. Like, I had tutoring, I had class, I had weights, and then I had practice and games. So it was kind of like I was living the D1 life before I got to D1.
Right.
But by the time I got D1, it was like I'm already used to this.
Yeah.
So, I know like not everyone's like fortunate enough to go to a prep school, but I think for me personally, in my opinion, that was the best that ever happened to me, was just to be able to prepare for D1 before going D1. And the best way, I think, to do that is to go to like a real prep school, like you said, with like real classes, real teachers, so that you can get ready for the lifestyle of being a D1 athlete.
Right. And that's really good. So it is possible for our audience that's watching out there, for our hoopers, or maybe just athletes in general watching this, that want to get to that next level. It's possible. And like Koby said, he had that desire. He had the desire. So when he had the desire, he's willing to train. He's willing to study. He was willing to do it all, right, to get to that level. And you spoke about managing, all the things that came with it. It wasn't even the basketball, it was the weights, the film, the school. So you guys got to be prepared for that. And it was good that you had that experience prior to that, before going to Division I. So like we were talking about earlier, prep school is also a good route because you get that experience prior to going to D1. It's almost like you're at D1, or you're playing D1, but you're not at that level yet. So I just want to, I know you, you're a college basketball player. Now you're a professional athlete. So that's an even higher level. That's an even lower percentage of players that actually make that level. Like most people don't, and that's the reality. So a lot of respect to you. So what is the difference from playing college basketball to now being a professional athlete?
Well, um, obviously you get compensated for
Yeah.
your work. Also, I think I'm not gonna lie, like there's this. I would say for me personally, it's easier being a pro,
Yep.
just because I don't have to deal with the school. I don't have to deal with
Yep.
teachers. I don't have to deal with
Mhm.
like there's weights, and then there's film, and then there's the court.
Right.
I have one thing to focus on, which is basketball.
Yep.
Um, so I think that's the biggest difference, is that your life is basketball. Like your whole life is your whole day is centered around basketball. It's not about like getting a homework assignment in or waking up and having to go to class. Like I wake up at a certain time so I can have energy for weights.
Mhm.
Then I come home and I take a nap so I can have energy for practice. I
Yep.
eat I eat certain things so that I have the proper nutrition and the balance for me to perform. Um, so everything is just centered around basketball, and it's kind of and if you want to make it in D1, it's kind of just hard to just center everything around basketball.
Right.
So I think that's probably like the biggest. Those are the biggest differences, and then obviously the competition is just way higher
Yep.
because you're fighting for your livelihood. It's
Yep.
it's not like you have like a 4-year guaranteed scholarship. Um, you're on most of the time. If you're someone that's from the western side of the world coming to Europe
Mhm.
or any of these other professional leagues around like Asia or whatever the case may be, Africa, Europe, um, you're on like a 1-year term,
Mhm.
and and even on that 1-year term, like they can get rid of you if you're not
Wow.
performing.
Yep.
Um, so I think those are the pressures of
Mhm.
the pro life are probably a lot higher.
Yep.
Uh, as to where in D1, like if you're not performing, and I think the worst that could happen is you just getting benched.
Yep.
But in the pro life, you can get benched, you can lose your job, you can get sent home.
Yep.
So I think those are just probably the biggest differences for sure.
Yep.
There's pros and cons to the pro life, and there's pros and cons to the D1 life. But
Yep.
if you were to ask me, I'd rather choose the pro life for sure.
100%. Yeah, and that's good. So for our audience out there, to me, it sounds like you got to stay ready when you're a pro because at any given time you could get sent home. And like you were saying, Kobe, that's people's livelihood, right? At that level. So it's not a joke playing at that professional level. You got to be extremely locked in. You got to be focused. You got to be working on yourself. You got to be making sure you're getting adequate rest, right? This is your job. Just like you have a job and you go and you get paid, it's the same thing being a professional athlete, right? So, we live this life and we're on our journey, and, you've had your journey, and there's so much things, that you've learned on this journey that you could help our audience and other people. So, what are some things that you learned on your journey that you would think would help our audience?
Um, this I think like you're gonna at some point you're going to face some type of adversity,
Yeah,
and adversity comes in so many different ways, and everyone's adversity is not the same.
yeah,
Um, but when you are faced with it, I think um, even when you're at the lowest point that you think that you can be at, um, I think the best thing for you to do is just to just kind of let go and like just keep going,
Yep.
because it can only get better from there.
Yep.
Um, and I'm not talking about like adversity when you have like career-ending injuries or like God forbid for anybody, because injuries suck. But like, because obviously those type of injuries you gotta make a life decision. But I'm talking about just like when things are not going your way, you're not performing well,
Mhm.
everything you can to try to be the best player, best person you can be, and everything just seems like it's not working. I think those are just the things that just come with the game, and you gotta just sit back and just evaluate each situation, and
Right.
then just know that you can make it through it.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and then you do kind of make it through it. You realized like first you realize how much you do actually love
Mhm.
what you're doing,
Yep.
and secondly, it's things are just gonna start falling into place for you. And I've been through a lot with this basketball journey. The highs, the lows.
Yeah.
Uh, in my opinion, more lows than highs.
Mhm.
Uh, I think that's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm here now, and
Mhm.
I'm here because I just simply decided to not give in to how I was feeling in the moment,
Right.
even though I wanted to a lot of times.
Mhm.
Just looking at it from the bigger picture perspective of just um, you can't get where you want to be if you stop.
Right.
So I think just beauty and not quitting and
Yep.
just powering through difficulties that come with doing like playing a sport that you love, an
Yep.
imperfect game like that. So I think that's just the biggest advice or thing that I can tell somebody
Mhm.
about my journey that can help them.
Mhm.
Because we're all gonna go through it. You're never gonna have a perfect career path or journey to where you want to be. So
Right. Man, that was wicked. That inspired me, man, to just keep going and never give up and don't let your emotions control you. And you said there's beauty in that struggle, you know what I mean? So I love that, man. And you got to look at the bigger picture, you know. So wow, that was huge. And we're all gonna go through adversity. Everybody, every single person's gonna go through adversity. But you got to keep going. If you really want it, you just got to keep going, get back up and keep going. And you said there's more lows than highs. Like, wow, really taking that concept. There's more lows than highs, and you're a professional athlete. Really
yeah.
let that sink in, guys. Thank you, Kobe. Awesome, brother. So, how long, do you plan to play professional basketball? And do you have other dreams that you want to pursue?
I'm planning to play
Hmm.
until I'm like I don't know. I can't put an age on it, but as long as I can, 10
Yeah.
plus, 12 plus years for sure.
Hmm.
Um, you said if you asked me if there's anything else I want to do besides basketball,
Yeah, yeah, outside, yeah.
um, I definitely. I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't found like something that I'm like, oh, like I'm super passionate about
right.
outside of basketball.
Hmm.
Um, except for like obviously, making money.
Hmm.
A lot of ways to do that.
Hmm.
So I guess I got to explore some avenues
Yeah.
um, during my career, kind of find out what I would like to do.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't really found a thing outside of basketball that like I'm like, okay, if I'm done playing, this is what I would do.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that will come to me later on in life.
It will come. Definitely, it
Yeah.
will come, brother. That's good. And this is the mindset, Marcel Mindset TV. So we really emphasize mindset. So, Kobe, what does mindset mean to you? And how does someone develop a strong mindset?
Mindset. I think a mindset is just how you choose to view things, how you choose to attack each day. Um, Mindset is doing the things, like I said earlier, like discipline, like doing the things that you have to do even when you don't want to do them.
Yep.
Mindset is also just being grateful for the opportunity you get to do what you love. Like for
Right.
me, when I was describing my journey and how there was like more lows than highs,
Hmm.
in my opinion, just
Right.
looking at it, it I say that, but also I am grateful that I get to do what I love
Hmm.
and get compensated for it. Because I'm like a lot of people just have jobs that they hate, but they need money, and they're miserable. Um, and and that's not to say that's not to knock anybody on just doing what they have to do, but I'm grateful that I get to play a sport for a living. So I think a mindset comes with just being grateful for the opportunity that you get to do what you love, um, and then a mindset of, like I even mentioned earlier before, is even though you're going to go through some tough times, knowing that you're going to push through those things
Yep.
and achieve what you want to achieve. So I think mindset just is an equation of all those things. Um, and then it's just knowing that you have to grow every day.
Yep.
You get 1% better every day.
Yep.
Um, and I think if you have that type of mindset, you will, whatever goal you have set in mind, you will eventually reach. Um, just because you're just looking to improve every single day. Like no matter how good you think you are or how good people say you are, you can always be better. So
Yep.
I think people need to know that.
Yep. 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 And you're living that, man. So, like Kobe was saying, you got to try and grow every day. And this man's extremely humble. I just want to say, I never really knew this individual prior to the podcast. I met him through a friend, but this guy is extremely humble, man, and honestly has humbled me here today. And I've learned so much from you. So I just want to say thank you, my brother. So
Thank you.
you got to be extremely grateful for, your opportunity, right, that you have. And you got to every day you have to choose to attack the day. Every day, you have to get a little bit better each and every day, and that's a mindset. So we want to help you guys develop that mindset. Work on yourself every day, one step at a time. So we are kind of wrapping up the show. I just have one final question for you. When you hear these words, I'm just going to say, about 4 or 5 words. When you hear these words, what comes to your mind? Discipline.
Um, I think most importantly, what comes to my mind is choosing your goals um, over anything else in
Wow.
the like besides going out with your friends, partying, um, just doing the things that might please you in the moment over the bigger picture. I think that's what comes to mind when I think discipline for sure.
I like that. Sacrifice.
Um, I mean, that just goes hand in hand with discipline. Like I said, like you're gonna miss times with your friends. You're gonna miss times with people that you love. You're gonna like right now. I'm overseas 6 hours ahead of my family. I
Yep.
don't. I've ever since I was 15. I've never been with my family consistently, and I'm 25 now. So to get where I'm at right now, that took extreme sacrifice
Yep.
um, from family, from friends, from just being a teenager, just being a regular teenager. Like I never got to be a regular teenager. Um, So yeah, that you're gonna miss out on a lot.
Yeah. It's all about sacrifice. Focus.
Just blocking out the noise, having tunnel vision, and doing whatever it takes to get to that goal.
I love that. Tunnel vision. Champion.
Champion. You got to be a champion before you are a champion. So you gotta walk like one, talk like one, work like one,
Yep.
eat like one, sleep like one, drink water like one. Like you're not a champion by accident. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be a champion before you are a champion.
I love that. Be a champion before you're a champion. And last word I have for you is relentless.
Yeah. Not just knowing that nothing's gonna stop you no matter what. If you have a good game, keep going. If you have a bad game, keep going. If things in your personal life are not going well, you just keep going. If you just feel like everything is crashing down, burning on you, and you want to give up, you just keep going. It's just stopping. It's always moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And Koby, you're doing that. You're disciplined. You've made sacrifices. You're extremely focused. You're 100% a champion and you're relentless. So I just want to say thank you very much for coming on the show, coming on the podcast, and just bringing so much value. Honestly, stay on this path that you're on because you're going to inspire the world. You're going to do big things. And I really wish and hope the best for you, my brother.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Thank you. Thank you. So remember, guys, hit that like button below, subscribe to the channel. Let's spread this. Let's get this worldwide. We want to help people out there. We want to help people get better. You can achieve your goals and your dreams. It is all possible. So thank you very much for coming on the show. Koby, keep killing it. Keep representing for Toronto and keep doing your thing. All the best, my brother. Thank you again.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Take care.